A learning disability, its traditional definition, is a child who's at least of average or above average in intelligence, but has certain cognitive functioning that is much below that. So it's the individual where you see unevenness in their learning profile, where they can excel at certain things, but other things they really struggle.
Well, research will tell you that 1 in 10 children suffer with a learning disability. And when you look across a school like St Peter's, that's nearly 70 children that are coming in each day, finding school really hard.
Elaine and I came out from the UK in 2001. We were supposed to stay for 2 years, and 14 years later we're still here. So Andrew came along in 2003, Jess followed in 2006, and we're very happy Australian citizens living in Melbourne.
We've got 4 kids. It's we got a girl and 3 boys. It's Sophie's, she's 10, and then we've got Sam, Josh and Noah.
It's a bit hectic sometimes. Some weeks are more hectic than others. You know, somehow we manage to make it all work.
We first suspected Jessica had an issue when she was at preschool, and it really highlighted itself when she started in prep. It was very obvious she was not keeping up with everybody else.
In addition to having trouble at school and reading, Jess would struggle just with general conversations in the family as to understanding what we were talking about.
We used to have to drill down every aspect of the conversation. So you'd say, today we're going to the park and we maybe using a particular play equipment. She would ask what that play equipment and why would we be doing that. You'd have to explain every concept in the conversation. She was just so confused. She just had this cloud. It felt like her head was stuck in a cloud and she couldn't get out. She couldn't see. It was so frustrating for her.
Everything was just harder for Sam. You know, whatever he learned that day would be gone by the next day. And he would say, Mum, I don't understand anything. And he said, and I keep seeing all these letters and things in my head and they're just all jumbled around. Or he would say, you know, I can learn this, Mum, but then I forget it all.
The impact of having a learning disability is incredibly broad and widespread. Not only does it affect the individual academically, they struggle in the classroom, they struggle with various aspects of learning, whether it's reading, whether it's numeracy, whether it's being able to write. So these individuals feel like they're failures academically. It can affect them physically, it can affect them on the sports field, they aren't athletically competent. It can affect them socially, they can't read nonverbal cues, so they have poor social relations. They just don't get social interaction, so they don't have social support. It can affect their mental health. They have higher incidence of depression, anxiety disorder.
A lot of those children, they're very much aware of where they are in context of their class. So I've seen examples where it's had significant effect on their self-esteem to the point where they withdraw from school. They're early school leavers. They're children who won't really engage in education post-secondary school, and some even post-primary school.
Arrowsmith program really comes out of neuroscience, not out of education, and it's really based on this concept of neuroplasticity. We know our brain is not fixed. We know through appropriate stimulation, intervention, exercise, we can actually change the brain so that it can learn more efficiently and more effectively. And that's the premise of the program that I developed. It's not that we're working around the difficulty, we're targeting almost like a laser right into that difficulty. We're exercising it, we're working it, we're strengthening it. So by the end of the program, the child has a new capacity to learn in those cognitive functions and goes through the rest of their schooling and the rest of their life being able to engage in the world, being able to understand the world, being able to be successful in the world.
They each have their own individualised program. So they do 4 cognitive sessions a day. So they do 4 40-minute sessions.
Their days are very intensive, aren't they?
It's
And
very busy.
When they're in doing the cognitive exercise, it's very intensive. The goals are set for them for every single period of the day, and they know what their goals are from the youngest to the oldest in the classroom, and they work really hard to achieve those goals.
And they've made the connection across the group. It doesn't matter the age differences. Obviously, we've got children from 1 through to grade 5 in here, but they all interact so well with each other. You wouldn't know that there's such significant age ranges.
It's a lovely,
Environment to work in.
lovely
It is a really
environment,
lovely
to work in.
in that
Because
respect.
these are children who haven't had great success in their past experiences at school. So to be having success, almost daily is amazing, and I think they really support each other in that way.
Like most things, there's a finance figure around it. The program is 1 teacher to 10 children, which is really a third of what the normal mainstream school is funded at. So obviously the teacher cost is a key component of it. So as a school community, we wanted to basically find out how successful the program would be. The best way to do that was within the context of a pilot. We also set ourselves up to be a blueprint for other schools. I think obviously the number of children who are affected, who have that learning disability, as I said earlier, 1 in 10, we can't cater for all of those. If we can show a model how other schools can implement the program, it will reach more children, and that's ultimately the aim. We're not setting it up just for the children of the Holy Trinity Parish, but we're setting up something that we can support other school communities.
With something new, there's always going to be scepticism about things and, a new program, what it's like and all that sort of thing, and people are going to be negative towards it, and that's fine because you've got to have an open debate about whether this is a good program or not, and so by allowing people to come in and seeing what other students do and inviting teachers in and showing other people what we do, that way you're sort of promoting, and it's not seen as a closed door program or anything like that.
I feel like we're part of the kind of the first wave of this, and we're helping to make the history, and hopefully it goes on to help a lot of children.
I would love it to be in every school. I would love every child to have the ability to learn in this particular style.
Holy Trinity is such a wonderful home. Amazing teachers, amazing staff. I met with the parents and the students, and they're all seeing positive change. I think it is being implemented at a really high level of excellence, so I'm thrilled.
Every day is a challenge, every day is exciting, every day seeing these kids come in with a smile, it's an incredibly rewarding experience as a teacher. And because it is so different to anything we've done before, it was a big, I guess, challenge, but without hesitation, can't wait for the next few years and to finish this pilot and see where it goes next.